Hey guys, what's up? It's Finch here, and today we're going to be discussing the Blaziken suspect in the underused tier. So for those of you that don't know, underused recently banned things like Zapdos Galar and voted on some other things. However, it voted on Blaziken to be banned, and ultimately the council decided that it was not quite yet ban worthy. It was actually a pretty damn close vote. As you might recall, I went over it on this channel when I discussed the UU and RU bans. If you want to check out that video, you can, but honestly, it's been a week and so much has happened in that last week, so let's just go right to the point of where we are at now. So DLCT brought a large number of radical changes to the UU metagame. As the tier leader Hog says, what's emerged as one of the best Pokemon perhaps is Blaziken, and it's been on everyone's mind because it used to be an Uber, and then we're like, oh, we're gonna try an OU this generation, finally no Z moves, no Baton Pass, no Mega, no all those things that we were going for before. Of course, it was still pretty strong Pokemon, and it honestly is very hard to keep in check in any metagame, but it felt like UU it wasn't getting enough traction in OU. So cool. Like, okay, damn, is it going to break UU? Surely it will. It used to be Uber, right? But it hasn't. Relegated to Uber's last generation, it has seen a big drop all the way down here in UU, where it narrowly avoided a council ban, again, as we said. But since that vote has emerged as perhaps the single most dangerous threat in the metagame. Now let's look at the metagame for a second. Here are the UU viability rankings. Shout out to Hilo Milo or Hilo Milo, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Hilo Milo. Oh, that's helpful right there. Thank you. Shout out to Hilo Milo for viability rankings. It's a super thankless job running a viability rankings thread. So, yeah. Anyway, so you see, Blaziken is an A+ ranking. For those of you unfamiliar with this, it means in the A+ and A ranks reside Pokemon that also are defining of the metagame, but don't quite provide the same extent of splashability, utility, or centralization that it would be to be an S like Zeraora right now. So these Pokemon are considered very good. Some of you know the top 10 Pokemon in the metagame without a doubt, but there are some things holding them back from maybe being, something that you see on almost every team of a certain archetype, something that could really devastate every single type of team and always have a really solid matchup. So therefore, Blaziken might have some drawbacks. And if you look, we see things like Azumarill, Latias that can definitely beat it, handle it, resist both stabs. Salamence, Primarina, and Slowking as well. Gyarados, if we go down, Tentacruel. But Blaziken does have a coverage slot it can use, potentially Protect, help get Speed Boost. Or it could also run Earthquake, Knockoff, etc. So we're going to, Stone Edge for Salamence. So we're going to get into it more as we go through this thread and explain why it's being suspect. And I want to hear your thoughts as well. So, this should be no huge surprise. Blaziken has phenomenal attacking stats, 2 physical stabs with Swords Dance, 120 base power. Yeah, honestly, I butchered that sense. But basically, he's trying to say his close combat fly blitz, 120 base power, coupled with the fact that he's got a sky-high attack stat and speed boost is very threatening. No doubt about that. Swords Dance is a huge help. And then he could run either Knockoff, Thunder Punch, or Stone Edge. So yeah, those are the coverage moves we were just talking about. You also can see Protect help the speed boost. I've seen it a bit less in this year than I have in OU, though. So yeah. Perhaps the biggest issue with Blaziken is in the team builder. It really eliminates so many different forms of counterplay. You can't revenge kill it. Now, there are 2 different types of general counterplay. We're going to separate it into 2 camps here. There's offensive counterplay, things that can revenge kill it, i.e. you force a fodder or you force someone to pivot out, you get that in, and then you revenge kill Blaziken. And then there's defensive counterplay, things that could come in and live that +2 attack or live multiple attacks and ultimately beat it and or force it out. So offensive counterplay is almost entirely out of the window when it comes to a speed boost Pokemon like Blaziken, because at +1, it's outrunning even Zeraora as long as you're in a plus speed nature, and that goes without saying that, it's the fast Pokemon. So then you have Scarfers, but Scarfers, if Blaziken goes for Swords Dance, you go to something to fodder it up, then you get +2 speed, you outrun them too. So it gets out of hand. So then, the only offensive counterplay would be say you get it really weakened, Quick Attack Terrakion, or Aqua Jet Azumarill, or potentially Ice Shard Mamoswine, but not only does it only take super effective damage from Aqua Jet of those 3, but it also takes neutral from Mach Punches and Quick Attack, and resistant from Shards and Bullet Punches from Scizor. So you got to get those close combat drops. You got to really get it weakened. Even things like Sucker Punch from Bishop, they can take it out from, 35-40%, especially if it's at -1, but you got to get it at -1. You got to get the chip on it, and oftentimes it's hard to do if you get Blaziken in safely. So it requires a certain level of trade-off, and then Blaziken can potentially come out and get another kill the next time he comes in. So there's definitely a ton of offensive presence, which it applies onto teams, in my opinion. So moreover, Blaziken is absolutely crazy good in the tier. And yes, you will notice that there are things that can potentially keep it in check, again, such as Primarina and Azumarill, the 2 water fairy types, or Salamence, or Latias, 2 dragons that resist both the stabs. Slowking's being used a ton. Gyarados is very good in the metagame. etc. You can go down the list. Suicune can level +2 close combat if it's a defensive set even. Noivern potentially, but all these things, they can potentially fall with just a little hazard damage or a little chip, or the first time they can check it and then the second time they can't. And if you go even further down the list, coverage moves, again, Thunder Punch for Marina and Azumarill, knock off, hitting things like Latias. Stone Edge even for Salamence, although I haven't really seen that a ton. But yeah, it's really hard. And obviously multiple of these coverage moves also with Victini as well, although Victini after Stealth Rock is going to be really weak if it's not if it's not a heavy duty boost variant, which is also important. So yeah, there's also Crawdaunt in the tier, which can revenge kill it, and Quagsire, which can check it. Let's go through this paragraph really quick. The biggest presence, again, the team builder, eliminating offensive counterplay, besides things like Azumarill and Crawdaunt with Aqua Jet, and then also defensively, Quagsire or Bulky Salamence are good checks, but they can struggle. For example, Quagsire can get 2 KO'd by a Life Orb Adamant close combat, or potentially even Jolly after rocks. You get a knockoff, or Salamence, got to watch it for Stone Edge, or just repeated hits in general. So yeah, I mean, after all of the shifts in the metagame, it's no surprise that Blaziken has been one of the best Pokemon despite this, because it's so strong and so powerful, but they weren't really confident enough to quick ban it, which I completely understand, because again, there are checks and counters to discuss. It's just a lot of them are situational, a lot of them are circumstantial. So moreover, and admittedly, I'm not the most experienced or seasoned player in UU. I've been watching a lot of games in the recent UU Snake Draft, and I've been learning a ton. So many great players playing that tier with super creative teams and ideas, which is amazing, by the way. Definitely check that out if you guys would like and want to see more UU stuff. But that aside, I'm really curious to what you guys have to think. Personally, if I get Rex, I'm kind of on the fence. I don't know if I'll have time. I'll probably be voting ban on Blaziken. I think it's just that strong. But I think it's not like a super overwhelming ban. I'm glad it didn't get quick banned. I think they're handling this the right way by ultimately voting him for staying in tier and then suspecting it. I think giving the people the power to decide its fate in the tier is a good decision. I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say as well. So yeah, do you guys believe that Blaziken is ban-worthy in UU? Or do you guys believe it's not? I'm just going to go over some details here really quick. So they have a scaled system much like OU. In fact, OU actually stole this system from UU, believe it or not. So, moreover, for 50 games, you only need 80 GXC. But if you want to only play 30 games, you got to get that 84 GXC. So you're looking at like a 29-1 or 30-0 type record. So a lot of people finish somewhere in the middle or somewhere above 50 games if you're struggling, which is completely fine. You do you. If you want to get Rex, so check this out. And thank you to the whole UU Council. These guys working hard to maintain the tier. And look at this fun GIF. It is GIF, by the way, not GIFs. Just to set that record straight. If you say GIF, then please reconsider. I strongly implore its reconsideration. But yeah, no, I like this GIF. But anyway, it looks like one guy, Disco Ducky, commented, Blaziken makes building difficult. Yeah. It still breaks holes even if it dies mid-sweep. Yeah, that does make some sense. Also, you get things like Regieleki now in the tier that provide screen support that recently dropped into UU. So I'm not sure where it'll end up fitting in those viability rankings. They're not updated enough. But yeah, let's just go through a list of checks and counters one more time here. So Latias can check it if it lacks knockoff. Victini can check it if it lacks knockoff or Stone Edge, but it has to be very healthy. Azumarill can revenge kill it with Aqua Jet. It can only switch in once probably. So yeah, and also it in Primarina, another check, but Primarina has to stay healthy and it has to watch out for Thunder Punch. Slowking, same thing, but has to watch out for Thunder Punch and knockoff. Okay, Conkeldurr, live in one hit and beat it, but also Mach Punch can devastate it from a decent amount of health. Yeah. Again, you have other priority like Quick Attack Triggers, be Sucker Punch, Bisharp, which can take it out from a decent chunk of health. Same with Lycanroc, but you got to be careful. You know, Gyarados, same, but Thunder Punch and so on and so forth. Yeah, Chandelore's got to watch for knockoff Stone Edge. Go down the list, there are a couple other things, but ultimately it's just a handful of Pokemon. And is this handful enough? In my opinion, no. In my opinion, that coupled with the Aqua Jetters, it's just not sufficient, and therefore I'll be pro ban here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get Rex or not, but yeah, no, definitely let me know if you guys are getting Rex. I'm gonna look over your teams or anything like that, and let me know how it goes. What you think of Blaziken in the tier and anything else. I figured I'd do a little video on the suspects that are rolling in because these new tier shifts have brought a ton of chaos in lower tiers, and you guys have just been eating it up in the comments with so much great analysis, and I've always loved engaging with you guys. So yeah, thanks so much for all the support lately, and we're getting close to 6,000 subscribers. Hopefully we can get it by the time this year ends or sometime in January. But yeah, all right, guys, have a great day, and peace out. Bye-bye, guys. See you later.